And a lot of Chinese people, they were persecuted so bad. Their entire family were, like destroyed because of CCP, right? So in their mind, they have a lot of hate. Like they cannot wait to see like Xi Jinping dead. They cannot wait to execute all those evil, CCP officials who are corrupt. Do you know what I mean? They want to use like, the human level, old, old way to try to apply it onto the future of China. I think it's extremely dangerous. So I analyzed that very carefully last night. And I do believe that we need to enroll those people into our moral education class. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, when Confucius was in the world, Confucius was always educating the kings about the proper way of ruling the nation, right? So we also are facing a time when the human world, are like when Confucius was, in the world, the kings, the leaders, the presidents, internationally, they have lost the vision about a proper government.
Yeah.
So I do believe that our moral teaching, teaching in terms of enrolling students. I remember Mr. Song wrote down, his agenda about educating the leaders of the government in one of those detailed writings of plan for this nonprofit organization, right? I do believe that it's very, timely right now, especially the Chinese, because the China, it's a very, very important nation internationally. Right now, it's basically are being ruled by the devil. And so the leaders in China, even Xi Jinping, he is kidnapped by the devil. And we need to set him free from the devil's, control. So Xi Jinping's mind also needs to be educated, big time.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I do believe that, our role is very unique because we are not into politics, but we're going to, help the politicians to become moral politicians.
Yeah. Correct,
Agree?
correct.
Yeah. We need to help all the international leaders to recognize that the future of the world, if they want to be leaders, they, first of all, need to follow morality. Without following morality, they will lead the nation into destruction.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I think we need to really start to talk about it. In our evening lecture, I want to be able to, bring all these very important points together with you to the international leaders. Because, right now we have the tools. I have the LinkedIn, and I'm connected with all international leaders through my LinkedIn profile. Every day, if I broadcast some important ideas, all the policymakers, I have the, Homeland, Security of America, the legal, policy community and the committee. I have many, like very critically important scholars. They have the groups on LinkedIn. So every group, I have some of them like 20,000, 30,000, members, right? So I really think our creator already has, put together the platforms for me to be able to broadcast a very important moral concept for our leaders.
Yeah. But recently we don't have.
We need to be
lecture every day.
We need to be diligent to deliver important lectures, right? But the lectures not going to be just on the moral education. We need to really start to do some lectures that everybody will feel that it's up to date to their daily concerns and life. So right now, the reason I really need to meditate more tonight, I'm not coming over, is because I really need to, get myself ready for delivering important lectures, to include, the information that are being presented to me, you've been playing a very central role to, help me to focus upon moral, the moral aspect in terms of education. And so you have, kind of set out a banner, the Sacred Virtue Way Institute, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sacred Virtue Way Institute name is very wonderful because it's also suitable for all people with different religions. It doesn't matter which religious, school. If we use the banner of Sacred Virtue Way, they will all relate to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
correct.
why I think this is a very wonderful platform for us to, start to bring the world people, especially the world leaders together, and also bring the leaders, in different religious group together. Okay. I remember you told me, during our several conversations about Korea, the prophecy about in the future, all religions, all different religions will become one. It's not going to be separated, right? So maybe,
You know that.
yeah. So maybe through, our bring, people together on the platform of moral education, ultimately, the whole world will no longer be split into too many pieces, and the unity and the peace will start to, will be predominant in the human world, right? Right now, we really need to have unity and the peace and no war, and not to fight with, each other based upon blindness of the vision of, each group, right? Yeah. So I feel that there are a lot of blindness in each group's, understandings, and like the left and the right, political group in America, they fight and they're wasting a lot of energy. And, the Chinese people, they also hate the CCP leaders, and they're actually not examining their own hearts. They are not working on their own mind to eradicate the CCP, devil's elements within their blood. They only point the finger towards outside other people, and they want to use violence to end violence. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So I think we need to really put together, all these very important, teachings. The Sacred Virtue Way encourage everybody, to go to their roots and go to their mother. Go to find the most fundamental kindness in their heart. Because I think, the reason, Sacred Virtue Way is going to enter every household is because it really emphasizes a very, very common aspect of each human being. Because every human being comes out from a mom. Okay. So, if a human being cannot recognize that, the very most sacred connection that they have with a mother, that human being is no longer human. That's for sure. So I think, to recognize and to be grateful to the mother, maybe it's the bottom line of our Creator's, standard for the survival of any individual in the world, which means that I think any individual who no longer even can love their mother, that individual is going to be weeded out.
Yeah.
And if the person still can remember their mother, and then go deep into, understanding and appreciating, the life journey coming into the human world, and the mother, lay down the foundation, and then to truly appreciate the mother, and then from mother to start to find the root of life, and to seek for, bigger questions like what is the universe? Where are we from in the universe? Where our spirit mother? Where is our spiritual mother, right? And then gradually ascend to seek for our original true self and the true family and the true home, which is our paradise in the universe, right? So I think it's the most natural way for humanity to return to tradition, to return to spirituality, to return to morality. That kind of method of kindness education is very, very important, and which is very much the essence of traditional Chinese culture of 5,000 years. Okay. I also have a very important story to share with you, which I think should be one of the video that you shall make for me really nice to broadcast about, this wonderful foundation that we want people to go or, connect, which is about, the word called mother. Okay. Our creator, the time when I was lost in the human world, when I was very much lost in the human world, by the human world power and fame and sentimental love, right? So that was in the year of 1999, okay? In the year of 1999, I was at Harvard, and I was internationally famous. Okay, I became the consultant for Pfizer. Pfizer is they have the vaccine produced, right, together with Moderna. So Pfizer is one of the top-notch, internationally renowned pharmaceutical companies, right? There are two most powerful pharmaceutical companies in America. One is called Merck. The other is called Pfizer. Okay. These two are the most renowned pharmaceutical companies that they produce pretty much all the man-made molecular medicine for the world. Okay. I became the scientific advisor for both companies. Okay. So, they all came to Harvard and viewed me as the superstar and offered me lots and lots of money and wanted to take me out from Harvard and work directly for them. And I refused. Okay, I turned them down. And so they all then, used another strategy. So they all, give me opportunity to be a consultant, right? So I became consultant for both. And then the Chinese Communist government also saw me, being a, superstar, and also want to use money and power to lure me back to China, right? So I was, considered to be one of the 100, top overseas scientists, overseas Chinese scientists that they want to lure back to, serve the CCP government. Okay, so they offered the Academy of Science, China Academy of Science, national laboratories, and unlimited amount of resource for doing research, and also housing, car, babysitter, housekeeper, everything, right? So it's a huge package with money and power and glory, right? That was offered to me also in 1999. Okay. The president of the Singapore Life Science Research, which represent the best, life science research institute in entire Asia. It's a new built, Singapore Life Science Research. The president flew from Singapore to Harvard to meet with me and invite me to relocate my lab to Singapore. His best, the best research laboratory in entire Asia. Okay. So I was given basically all the best offers at the time. Okay. And so my life was basically were at the crossroad. Okay. On the surface, I was about to be rich and famous, and have, the, stability of life that everybody dreamed of in their life and struggled and worked really hard to try to attain, right? And usually people have no ability to turn those offers down, So for me at that time, I looked at, name and profit and money very lightly. I have this very unique quality within me that I was always, spiritual. Deep down, I was spiritual. But in the human world, I started to be lost. And didn't know what can I do that can most beneficial to the mankind. Okay, so in my heart, I know that my life coming to this world is to benefit mankind and deliver salvation for human sufferings. It was very deep in my heart that I want to be like that, right? But I became lost. I thought maybe through my powerful scientific research and the science and technology, maybe I can cure it all. Do you know what I mean? Like I thought maybe I will be so bright because I appear, to everybody else as if I had endless amount of intellect and ability to be innovative and make discoveries. That as if one day I will be able to find the solution for all human diseases if I keep on digging. If I keep on digging, I thought maybe I will be able to succeed, in helping humanity to ultimately say bye-bye to all kinds of diseases, especially cancer, right? And I was like a leading expert in cancer research, right? So I view my number one agenda is to become, the one that find the cure of cancer. You know what I mean? So I thought whoever can provide me the best condition to do that, I will go wherever that it can, lead me to do, accomplish that goal. So I decided that China is a good option because ultimately, I also still have this idea of filial piety. My elder parents are in China. I'm the daughter and, my brother doesn't want to go back to China. I'm then supposed to go back to China to take care of my elder parents, right? So I decided to accept the position to go back to China. Okay. So that was 1999. And I took a trip, went to Beijing, Tsinghua, Tsinghua University, Beijing University, and then Academy of Science of Shanghai, Institute. I did my evaluations and I told the Chinese government that none of those research laboratories are good enough for me to move back. Okay. I told them that, their research facilities are very outdated and their reagents for, most frontier life science research were lagged behind. And if I, relocated my laboratory from Harvard straight back to one of those top-notch, so-called top-notch Chinese life science research institute, even Academy of Science, the best place, I would not be able to continue to publish top-notch research paper because the equipments and the reagents and everything, they are way too behind than America. Okay. So I said, why don't we do this? I will gradually move back. It's going to take me 4 years, okay? So I will also start to train talents during that 4 years because I need people to work with me, for those research projects. So I said every year, the first year I will come back to China for 2 weeks and to deliver lectures to the, top-notch graduate students, okay? And the second year I will come back for 3 months, okay? And then the third year I will come back for 6 months. And then the fourth year I will relocate the entire laboratory back to China, okay? So they let me choose. And I chose the Shanghai, Academy of Science, Shanghai Institute of Biochemistry, right? Which is at that time the best, equipped, like a biomedical research center. Plus, I was in Shanghai for medical school, and it's pretty much right next to my university called Shanghai Medical University. So I thought it's really nice to be back to Shanghai. I love Shanghai, which is because Shanghai has so many, communication with outside of China. It's usually the most sensitive place to sense the international, information. The young people, they are all very pretty much, up to like a date to the international, information. And I don't want to lose touch with the international community, right? So I decided to move the laboratory from America to China, use 4-year program. And they accepted that condition, okay? So 1999, I decided to relocate my laboratory first from Harvard to West Coast. Because 2 reasons. Because number one, in Harvard, I became so visible that my original mentor, when I was a postdoctoral fellow, she was sitting on top of me and want to control everything that I do. So I felt that that's no longer appropriate, So number two, I also felt that, travel back to China and also to establish my new, paradigm, I need to be more familiar with immunology. Because I was at a molecular biology cancer research field, but immunology was not my major field of research, right? My intuition is that in order to conquer cancer, ultimately it's going to be the immune system that will be playing the key role in conquering cancer, So I looked and I searched. The reason I landed in Seattle was because Seattle had a new research institute, which is a cancer immunology institute. And the research center director, Dr. Gerald Nippon, is a Jew. Okay. He himself was from Harvard Medical School. He himself was also at Harvard and become very visible, and his boss no longer could hold him, and he decided to go on his own. And then he left Harvard and he went to Seattle and he started to build his own research institute, So I like that spirit of like pioneer. Okay. I myself, my spirit is also a pioneer. Okay. I don't like to be like too comfortable in the already well-established world famous institute like Harvard and then rot over there. I don't want to be in other people's umbrella. I want to be my own king,
Understand.
So although that research institute was not that world famous at that time, but Jerry recognized me, and he told me when I was interviewing that he expected me to win Nobel Prize. And he was like, he recognized that I was really outstanding, right? So I was like, this is good because I want someone who actually understands who I am, and have high expectation and also will support me all the way, to accomplish that. So I accepted that position and I relocated my lab from Harvard, to Seattle, Washington. So it's a new cancer immunology research institute in downtown Seattle. And so